What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Scrubs podcast, episode 110. It's easier to keep track now for some reason that we're at the beginning of the numbers. But just going to jump in real quick to the normal intro stuff, get that out of the way. But we have a new thing that I want to mention here that I'm really excited about. Now, obviously, with all the quarantine stuff happening, a lot of shops closed down temporarily and doing online orders. Our locals was one of them, Mothership Books and Games. There's going to be a link in the description below with like Scrubs. I think it says Scrub Ship, that's what it says. And you go there and you can actually purchase a lot of stuff. Now, they don't have forcible product outside of maybe the booster box and the starter decks, but there's also a lot of other card games. I know a lot of y'all play other stuff like Pokemon, Magic, and what else is there?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Well, no, not Yu-Gi-Oh! That. She doesn't do Yu-Gi-Oh!
I just did.
What's the other one? We Flesh and Blood and stuff like that.
And Argent Saga.
And you guys can go there and pick up some product, and everything helps our LGS. Now, I'm not saying don't help yours. Obviously, a lot of the LGS is converted to this method, so if you can help yours, definitely help yours out. But the option's not there. There's always the option of our store as well for helping out. And if you order through the link, then she knows we helped you out. Now, we don't have anything going on where we're getting any support back from that, but we're helping support our store to make sure she stays open, because she's really awesome. And for those of you who know us or have visited her, know she's pretty cool too. I know the guys at Dallas know how awesome Lauren is. So.
And also a great thing during this quarantine, if you're like, I don't want to, like my case where it's like, my wife doesn't want to learn a new card game or play any card games really, or TCGs, I should say. Mm-hmm. Their biggest inventory is sort of the stationary games, so board games, card games like deck builders, different things like that. So those are super fun and great to order. There's even single player games that are board and card games as well for you lonely folks.
Always building up their inventory, because in store they also have D&D books and D&D miniatures.
Yeah.
So you can find quite a bit on her store, and if you go to the link, you'll get free shipping on orders over $50. So yeah, just something to help out.
I should actually probably look at
that. That's where I bought Betrayal House on the Hill too, and it's a super fun game, and it's like recommended me to me by her and stuff. So
Lauren's an
cool.
awesome person and
really
helps
cool.
promote Force of Will stuff locally. So definitely check out the store there. And then of course, Happy Little Hug Factory still has pre-orders up for the Ghost in the Shell set. They do have plenty of booster boxes and starter decks, and there's a deal when you buy the starter deck in combination with the booster box, you get $5 off of the starter deck. And you can go check that out. Now on AO3, they're currently sold out, and then we're waiting to hear back if they're going to restock on anything. We're not sure. I haven't heard anything. But you can visit the link in the description down below. You click that, they know we sent you over, and you can put your order in through that link. And that's all I had. I'm going to reformat the description section below going forward after. You'll probably see now the new formatting of it, to remove some links and clean things up, because there are certain things we promote, like Instagram. I think the metal playmat magnet thing was still on there, and just kind of clean it up and rearrange things so it looks a lot better than being this big jumbled mess. I don't know if that's what y'all see, but to me it's kind of something that I know I've been wanting to clean out. Other things we're going to do for the podcast stuff is with things going kind of slow, and then it looks like it's about to pick up because of spoilers, but I don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to go to bi-weekly podcasts, so once every 2 weeks we'll do a podcast, just so you get more quality over quantity, I guess I would say. So that'll be something going forward, and we'll change it up if things really take off, like when the competitive season starts off and cards are coming out, and there's really stuff to really jump into and talk about more often. On podcasts, the awesome guys over at Rogues Guild, Josh Patton, is going to be doing a I don't want to say it's monthly, because it's going to be based on when they can do it, and if they can do monthly, whenever they're able to do it. But it's a finance podcast. So we're just saying, do they have finance podcast? Will come out when they can. It'll be live streamed over on twitch.tv/Rogues Guild if you want to check it out live. They usually post when they're going to go live with it, since there's no real set dates yet. But they're letting us grab that video, put it up on our channel, so you can always find it here if you can't find it anywhere else. And it's also going to be on our SoundCloud, where it has its own special title of Rogues Guild Finance Podcast, which distributes to all the platforms of where you listen to your podcast, or where you listen to this right now if you're listening to this on another platform. So some cool stuff to look forward to. A lot of people like that finance podcast. It looks like it's doing really well.
It's interesting. Yeah. Maybe to check it out or something. I remember last time he came on our podcast, and he had some really cool insights and really cool stuff to talk about. So
it's him. He sells cards and TCG Player. He has Dylan Hunt, who owns a shop in Canada selling cards, both in physical form in their store and online. And he has Emilio, who owns an online shop as well. So you definitely have three guys who definitely have some expertise in talking about this, card game area of finance and their opinions on it and what they see going on.
Yeah, super awesome.
A couple other things on there is gameplay. We're going to try to get some more gameplay out in New Frontiers. Mike, I don't know if you guys remember Mike, one of our friends here. He was involved in the channel early on, just a little bit. Had some gameplays with him. I think he was in the early forums of the podcast before it kind of came to this format we're in now. And he's going to come back and start playing some games as well. We're going to see how that goes. We may get some gameplays with him. And I'm mostly looking forward to Epic Stories gameplays, because now we can do a 4-player game.
Without feeling bad about it.
It's because I've been talking to him. He's really excited about getting it going. He's been asking me for deck lists. I've been busy either with schoolwork, thinking about playing games with these guys, or just whatever, trying to do something in my own free time. So I got to get him some deck lists so he can start to put them in and kind of go over it. Because he last played, when Joey got out, maybe a little bit after Joey got out. Joey kind of got out when he moved and he only talks about what's going on. So whenever Joey left here is when Mike started to slowly, also lose interest. But he's coming back into it. So he knows nothing about the Rune deck. He knows nothing about Strangers. I was kind of briefly talking about the other day. So that's really interesting, seeing his take. What? So I'll talk to him.
I take the slightest bit of offense at me getting out of it, even though I'm still in it, and I know all the cards, and I've made decks too. I'm just saying, man.
I had to send you cards to keep you into it, but he'll be playing. Yeah. I told him that we really look like Epic Stories and Wanderer stuff to get some fun things going, and we play in Lackey, and that's what he wants to play in too. So he is installed. He just needs to get the decks going so he can start to slowly learn it. So again, that's something that we are hoping to start really pumping out. Moving from there.
No, I'm good.
All right, spoilers. Spoilers are starting, which is really cool. So I'm going to talk about spoilers on Ghost in the Shell real quick. It was announced that they're going to start on the 24th. So I 4 days. Kind of called it. I didn't say the date, but I did say it would be after it aired on Netflix, because obviously the artwork can't be seen before the show is known about. Considered a spoiler. It happens with a lot of different types of movies and shows. The first thing that comes to mind is the Marvel movies. Once they've been released, all the concept art starts to shoot out, and you can see all the cool stuff. Same idea. Let's say once a show releases on Netflix, we'll start seeing the spoilers for our side kind of come out, which would be cool to see. If you're looking to watch the show as soon as it releases, I know it releases at midnight Pacific. So for me, that'd be 2 a.m. So I might just wait till the next day to start watching it. And I'm hoping it's a good show to keep me, what's it called? Watching it.
Entertained?
Keep it going. Yeah, entertained.
Invested?
Is
it coming out on Netflix?
It's a Netflix show, yeah.
Is it coming out weekly, or are they going to do
what Netflix.
They usually do?
Netflix, I think, is going to do what they usually do. It's here it is. So you have
Okay.
Yeah, they've only not done that with live shows.
Yeah, I know. The way Oscar was saying it, I was for a couple seconds, maybe they aren't doing what they always do with the anime, and
I'll try to, let's say the 20th. So I'll try to, when we work again, Oscar, bring you the movie versions of season 1 and 2, so you're not wait, what's going on? Because I confirmed it was a continuation of the previous 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't even have anything to watch though.
Okay, I'll find a digital copy.
Okay. Yeah, I was I just realized I don't have a DVD player. Everything's just on my computer, and I never got the optical drive for it. I didn't think there was a point to it.
Yeah, I never got. It's a funny. So my camera uses SD cards, and my old computer had an SD card reader, and this one doesn't. So
yeah, I didn't get that either. I had to get an extension on that, or whatever they call the hub. But so the show will be on at midnight Pacific. You guys want to start, binge watching it before spoilers start. Spoilers will start probably that morning. I'm expecting maybe Italy post first, the way they've been doing for spoilers already. before the English page posts around noon. So you can get some episodes in beforehand, get an understanding of what we're getting into. For those of you unfamiliar, like me, I've only ever seen the live action movie that came out. I'm sure that anybody who likes Ghost in the Shell probably doesn't think that's a proper thing to jump into
adaptation.
or something like that. Yeah, movie adaptation or representation of what the show is.
I guess representation, but it warms you up for the world and everything, so it's not so sudden, I guess. But
it's not awful.
As far as like what you might be expecting. I mean, it does have cool action and stuff like that, but it's the shows. I don't know if the new one will be, but the previous 2 seasons of the show are like a hybrid of like future cop stuff and philosophical inquiries of the mind and all that stuff. Yeah. It's very unique. I really enjoy it. I was just rewatching it, and the nice thing about the show, the old show, is at with anime, it has like the main story arc, and then you got your filler episodes. I guess that's true with most TV shows. At the beginning of each episode, it titles the episode in the top left corner, and it tells you if it's part of the actual season or if it's just a standalone episode, so you know whether you need to actually watch it or not. Which is super cool. And I was watching the standalone episodes, and I was like, now I'm going to just watch the whole thing, because these are just solid, just episodes of TV and stuff. So,
yeah, I'm curious, because I've always known the one part of it, and that's that there's very beautiful, like, images of cities, and it kind of goes
from the movie
from the movie, but it's like direct translations of what's from the shows of looking really cool, right? Or was that not the thing?
The movie came first.
Yeah, the movie came first.
I'm thinking live action movie when you say movie. That's why it's confusing me.
The original animated movie came first. But I mean, there's bits of that, but the movie definitely leans more on the atmospheric and.
Because it kind of that's what I'm really hoping the show that's coming out will do. But from the trailer, it doesn't look like it might. Look like more be like action, get this storyline going, pew 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 pew, whoa, or something.
Yeah. From the trailer, it looks like the previous 2 seasons plus more action is what it looks like, which can be expected with CG models.
Yeah,
I guess. You have more freedom to do fighting scenes where that might be harder to do in hand-drawn, maybe. I could be wrong there, but they definitely can take more advantage of the CG of like, okay, we don't want them staring at their faces as they're pondering something. That's not as big of an effect because we can't do so many expressions, so instead but it looks super cool when they're jumping around and doing choreography and stuff like that. So I feel like that might happen, but I keep forgetting to look up who the director is, so we'll see. Because it really comes down to the director.
The director looked like, when I was researching back then, was the same director of the previous ones. If it's not been consistent across all of them, I don't know then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to double check that.
Okay.
I'm excited.
But that's starting up, so I mean, get excited. Like I said, Hyper Hug Factory has plenty of stock in, so I guess if you know people who are fans, you can push them in that direction, checking it out. Again, the artist, and I actually shared the images with Colin and Joey, I think Joey was there, of what the artist has been sharing, which has been really cool, kind of like portraits of some of the characters in the show, and kind of like real stylized, so it's been cool seeing that, and I'm sure that's going to be on some cards at some point.
Yeah, no, I'm getting pretty excited to see new Ghost in the Shell stuff again.
Yeah, that's getting me excited.
I'm excited about getting the set in, because we have some boxes coming in, right? Like we can get going.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting some boxes.
If we can get one of the boxes that it could be drafted, like I want to get at least 6 packs and hopefully ship them to Joey, or get them somehow to him, because I have actually right there in the corner of the tripod has the arm on it already. I just need to put the camera on it to look down, and we can actually do a sealed like well, it wouldn't be pre-release because the set will come out and be official release, but we'll treat it like a pre-release where it's like, oh man, here's what we would have done if we're at locals together. But I don't know if everything will be opened up by then to where we can go out and do stuff like that. Truly, so
probably not.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not. I should say.
Oh yeah. so we'll see. But on AO3, so Alice Origins 3 Set 3 has been starting to get spoiled. So we saw the rulers. The rules are really interesting. To be honest, I'm just thinking about right now to say it. I don't know if I really read Rezard to see what he did. I think he's kind of cookie cutter the way the other ones have been. The other two, on the other hand, were really interesting. Did you read Rezer? Do you want to go over that real quick before we jump into the next one?
I read him, but I don't remember exactly what he does. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he pitches his strangers to the graveyard.
Yeah, or deck, right? I thought there was some mill action going on in him. No? Okay, it was just strangers going to graveyard? Yeah, see?
Yeah, his is just graveyard.
You have it pulled up right now?
I don't have it pulled up, but
he's looking at his phone. I thought he was pulling it up.
I pulled it up.
I have it. So you put 2 cards from your stranger deck and you put them into your graveyard. They banish Resonator, put Resonator from your graveyard into your hand, or you pay 0 to Judgment. And then
you guys had like a
his flip side, put the top 4 cards of your deck into your graveyard, then you may put a Resonator from your graveyard into the field. If you do, it gains darkness and becomes a vampire. And then, sorry, I'm spoiling it all now. But for each vampire you control, and starting from the one with the highest attack. Oh yeah, the lowest one. Target Resonator your opponent controls. Target a Resonator your opponent controls. Vampires you control gain +4/+4. Then each of them deals damage equal to its attack to its chosen target. You may choose the same target multiple times with different vampires. So
summarize.
Okay, so when you put his Regalia in, you chuck your strangers into the graveyard, where I assume you'll have stuff to bring them back out in Rezer's actual deck package. So it's like Arla, except Arla's putting them in the remove from play, Rezer's putting them in your graveyard. And then when he flips, for every vampire you have, so let's say I have 5 vampires, they all gain +4/+4 attack, and then they'll fight, except they won't exactly fight, but they'll fight one other target Resonator for each vampire. Yeah, which is kind of insane. That's an entire board wipe for if you have 4 or 5
How much
vampires.
is that cards art?
2.
2? I know Arla's is 4. I was just wondering.
Yeah, 2. Well, yeah.
So it's free.
I think Arla's is a little bit better than Resonator's.
But it's interesting.
Well, his is technically could be a counter to Arla.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying they're different. Different stuff for different stuff.
I was thinking it's really cool.
They are different.
It's still the cookie cutter in a way, but I think there's some alterations to it. They're getting a little creative with how it
cookie
works.
cutter.
Well, because you're still putting the Regalia in, and it's still triggering one of 2 effects or 2 effects. And
Exactly
then
right.
and 2 of the 3 effects are the same as they've been in the past, but one's different, which is the creative part of it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And the
Okay.
other, and then Arla is kind of the same way, where it's going to be a little creative. The one that's really different, in my opinion, it's going to be Reflector Refrain.
Yeah.
And that one's really cool looking.
Yeah.
But before we get to those 2, I mean, is that anything else you wanted to say about it? 'Cause that's kind of my opinion on it. We haven't seen much besides the rulers and some promos for pre-release, but
Yeah, it's definitely the most creative. The most creative things that they've done with this set so far. I don't think, Melgus. I think the most creative thing besides that was Lover's Lock being quick cast for Valentina. Everything else is pretty much just they do stuff and you get stuff.
Yeah.
But these 3 actually have pretty cool effects. The strangers don't go to your hand; they go to different areas, and Reflect Refrain is
we'll get to it.
I don't know, I'm just saying
let's go ahead and get to that now. Let's go and look
Yeah.
at Reflector Refrain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Okay, geez.
Do you guys want to split this up anyway, or just kind of?
I'll go ahead and start looking at it. So Reflect. This isn't really a spoiler breakdown. We're gonna go probably over this again in the podcast or in the spoilers. Who knows? Which on spoilers we're gonna do it once a week like we've been doing in the past, and we're gonna wait till we have full English cards and talk about English cards as opposed to a lot of the foreign ones, like the Italian ones that are popping up beforehand. And we'll do it once a week. We'll probably record Tuesday night if the guys are free and I'm free, and I'll come out Wednesday mornings or something like that. So you can look forward to that. So maybe we'll go over the rulers now, and then we won't go over them, when we do the weekly one next week. But we have Reflect here. It's ruler, little boy. It's Stranger 10. This is the interesting part. So as the first turn starts, you may invert this card, so you can flip it. But it has you gain passion, and whenever your fire Regalia enters under your control, choose one. If the Regalia is changed to heart, which we have seen. Choose the 2 instead. You can either produce red. This card deals 600 to target player or J Resonator. Actually, I didn't realize it did damage to player. Or destroy target damage Resonator. So that's actually really interesting. I didn't know you could just throw a Regalia down and burn somebody for 6.
and produce red to like throw in some quick cast guys or something. Oh man, it's gonna be so
Yeah,
cool.
that's pretty. Or produce red and throw the thunder. Like, oh, I hit you for 12 off of a Regalia hit in the field.
I know. He's so cool. He's so like I honestly am feeling this. I'm feeling Reflect is a little bit more. I and maybe not. I'm probably wrong, but I like his aggro effects more than I do Melgus. Like I'm feeling him more for an aggro deck than I do Melgus.
Yeah, actually, think about it. Like,
probably wrong, but
you throw a Regalia down, you have access to 3 will if you choose to produce a red. You hit for 6. You use the red to hit for a thunder, and like say you have the red blue. If it has more burn spells, that's pretty good just off of Regalia entering the field.
Here's my. Here, now that I'm thinking about it, though, here's a potential.
I saw Colin's face as I said that. And he was like,
just to say, I don't think he has any way to actually get into a stranger deck. So I'm just previous that because you guys.
I'm just realizing that too.
Yeah.
But here, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine this: you play Change of Heart. You change the heart. You burn your opponent for 6. You're floating red. You tap Change of Heart to float 2 will, and then you use that floating red and 1 other will to play another Change of Heart to burn your opponent for 6. Have it float a red. You're floating 2 other things, and you could tap that to float 2 other. So you have 5 floating the will. And if they create like a 5 cost, what?
You can't
Regalia
pay.
Will floating can't play the Regalia.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm not using that. I never said to use the floating Regalia will.
Okay.
That's still floating.
All right.
And so if they create a Mage Art, I believe he uses Mage Arts. Yeah. That's a 5 cost that does damage to your opponent, or anything less than that. That I could see that potentially becoming a problem because of that will floating. It makes Regalia recycling super easy, which is before it's like you just always have to have 4 will to cycle Regalia, but this makes it so you need 1 will to recycle your Regalia after playing 1, so you could go bam 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 a couple times and get several effects and play several cards for very little will. It's my only fear, but we'll see what burn cards they make under the Mage Art.
I think he's definitely going to be interesting. Do you want to look at his other side?
Yeah, so when you flip them over base and when you're able to do that, I know the Regalia allows you to do it as well. I don't have it pulled up here, but
the Regalia, you can tap the Regalia essentially to flip your ruler over.
So it's Refrain, Ruler, Little Girl. You gain Calmness. When a water Regalia enters the field under your control, choose 1. If the Regalia is changed to the heart, choose up to 2 instead. You can either produce a blue or arrest target entity or draw a card.
Yeah, so also 3 really good, effects as well.
Oh yeah, I mean you play a card and you can draw 1 off of it. It's replacing itself and then producing a will. That's pretty solid to me. Resting an entity is pretty good. You rest a stone if it's necessary, but they can always tap for the will, but we discussed that before.
Yeah. I was of the opinion that it's not that much better to but being able to, for example, tap down their Regalia maybe could be solid also, or tapping down like a defender. I mean, there's still a lot of good options there. I definitely feel like his blue side is less good, but there's also it's also interesting because you have the ability to flip flop them back and forth. So we could see a weird play style where it's you have different tempo changes each turn. It's okay, so I have to play defensive on this turn, then I can go aggro the next turn and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see you want to close the game, so you don't want to deal 600 to your opponent because that won't kill them. But if you rest their J ruler or something that's blocking your way, you can swing in with your 1,000, that'll kill them or something like that. So you just play your Regalia and do some combination of that. I could see, or if you're running low on your hand and just need draw power and you don't care about it's early game, 600 isn't going to do much at that point. They're at 40 health or something like that, so you're I just need to draw a card and then I can combo or something.
I mean, but honestly, just thinking about it now, thinking more going more into it, this guy could be the ultimate control deck where you start out as an aggro guy or an aggro type deck maybe where you're controlling, you're kind of going aggro with his front side with Reflect, and then once you hit turn 4 or 5, you try and flip to refrain, and you start, I don't know, controlling the game more with producing and drawing cards and stuff.
Yeah, it could be good in a mirror match as well. You switch to your control mode essentially, and to stall out till mid to late game or something like that.
Super interesting, yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that they did some actually. I mean, it's still technically using the base format, but they actually did something different with Reflect Refrain. So, if when someone is playing Reflect Refrain, or you're playing it, or you're playing against someone with it, it'll actually feel like you're playing against a different type of deck, or at least from a little bit we've seen. So I'm excited about that. And if I assume both sides will be for, but yeah, no.
Another cool part about that is, going back real quick on Full Art. The Resort is a finally different artwork on each side.
Yeah, and it's the only one out of all three of these that is different artwork, which is weird. I noticed that the J Ruler side, though, is less detailed artwork, so maybe they got a deal, or maybe they just had this in the reserves, just was never used for a card and they were to get it. But I just thought it was funny that out of all three of these, Resort is randomly the one that gets it. Not that he's unpopular, but he's definitely not the popular.
Not more popular than Reflect Refrain or Arla. But no, it's a start, is what I was thinking. Like, if that's, going to go forward, maybe the next set there's two more, or there's all three of them, or whatever.
And I was really excited about seeing how much more, even by the littlest bit, how much more creative they're how many more liberties that they're taking with just these three rulers. Like, they are different rulers than the past 3 sets that we've had. So or 2 sets, 3 sets, I don't know, crazy. So it's like, oh cool, they're doing something different. Like, it's it's definitely more exciting than I'm super excited for Reflect Refrain.
Also, on top of that, this is the last set I think we have Memoria cards, right? Or there's no Memorias in this at all. I think Memorias are gone. Yeah, I was looking at a set breakdown. I'll pull it up while we're talking, and I'll give the breakdown, the numbers, because I was looking at it, and there's some Memoria cards. But it's also going to be where there's no more starter decks, like the way there were the last 2 sets, and all the cards will be in the box instead, and the rulers will be box toppers. So you will have to, hopefully, pull a few boxes in case, hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully there's a good, spread of how it works. But I also think because they're box toppers, it shouldn't be too expensive to find them online on TCG Player, but who knows? To check out the finance podcast, maybe they talked about that on there. But because
I assume it'll be cheaper than having them in booster boxes.
Oh yeah, because I imagine it's gonna be unfortunate if you got a case and you got 3 Reflects and maybe 2 Arlos or something like that. But hopefully there's some good.
It'd be cool is if they had chase box toppers of Altarts or something like that, or an Uber of the ruler. That would be cool.
That'd be pretty neat. Sorry, y'all want to start going over Arla? I was going to pull up the numbers for the kit.
I did want to touch on Reflect Refrain once more. Is the really crazy thing that I'm that I think is gonna be crazy about him is that I feel like cards that benefit off of him being passion or passion or calmness, if it's passion you gain this, and if it's calmness you gain this. That's gonna factor in heavily. That's gonna factor in heavily with how strong he ends up being. I think he's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Arla, Colin, or you got him?
Do you want the ruler or J Ruler side?
I was gonna do both, and then you could do Resort. I mean, I guess I kind of already did Resort. So,
yeah. I'll do the ruler side for Arla. So we already know all of those. So when a light regalia enters the field under your control, choose one of the regalia's Wings of the Archangel. That's a cool name. Choose 2 instead. Choose 2 cards from your stranger deck at random and remove them from the game. Or up to 2 target resonators gain flying and 2/2 till end of turn. Or draw a card for each resonator you control with flying. Or pay 0 to judgment. So that's cool.
It is really neat.
Seems strong.
Like a utility belt of stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and claim it right now. So y'all guys can't take my idea and do it. And then I'm like, what are you doing? I'm going to build an Epic Stories deck using Lenneth and Arla, just so y'all know. Because that seems really good. I'm like, removing strangers. Hey, Lenneth is going to grab that stranger back from removed area. I'm going to play it now and stuff like that. So that should be pretty awesome.
Do you think, is that, so how are you getting it back from your removed area?
I don't know, stuff that brings it back. There's different cards that can grab cards from the removed area with Lenneth, and one of them is Alistair's. is like one
Yeah.
void less for every removed card, and then when he puts it into play, he grabs a card from removed area and puts it in hand.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of stuff.
It just seems like a fun deck to build in Epic Stories. To be
Yeah.
like cha 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 cha.
I mean, it seems like it could be good in New Frontiers too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
So Jeweler side.
Jeweler's side. Yes. Enter. Put the top card of your Magic Stone deck into the field. Choose a card from your Stranger deck at random and remove it from the game. God's Art. Rise of Agmalia. 2 white, 2 green. Put any number of light or wind Stranger Resonators with different names from your removed area into the field. When you don't control a Stranger Resonator, you lose the game. It's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah, and you just gotta carry. There's nothing like that. I was gonna say carry a bunch of like a card to cancel an automatic ability and just keep canceling it if your strangers run out. Like, I gotta get a stranger. Because it's an automatic ability that attaches, so you could technically cancel it.
Overall, he's definitely the one who I probably would like to play of the 3 rulers when this releases. Because it just seems like a fun thing to remove stuff. And then if you God's Art, to hope to not lose, and you can win the game.
I mean,
I agree.
he seems pretty strong. Like, I think I can definitely see a lot of ways to, like, utilize him and break him.
Here, I'm going to check something.
As a deck. Like, he doesn't have the Stranger support right now, in my opinion. Like, there's some pretty decent ones, I'd say. Like, Arthur, and I think there's other one that I was looking at that I really liked. But, like, if you can just get, like, I don't know, 5 Strangers into your removed area and then God's Art, like, that's it. It's definitely not as good as, like, Loki summoning his giants and stuff. But it could be pretty close, you know. It could be pretty strong. Especially if the Resonators, the Strangers that he gets support for in this set are, like, really strong also. Then, yeah, he could be pretty crazy.
I'm actually a big thinking again about how great Epic Stories will be. Because, like, I drop either Lennith's or Arla's Regalia to play, and they're each going to remove cards to the removed area. It's actually really good when I think about it. It's like really fueling that removed area.
You can still only have 10 Strangers in Epic Stories, right? It's not like you get 20.
Right. No.
Okay.
Just 10. But 10 with different names, and the fact that they share an attribute of white. It's like I have some Lennith ones I can throw into it where they work out too.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's gonna be. It would be a cool deck to see.
Green, white, red.
I don't know, man. Epic Stories, you're really only hitting.
There's only 2 Strangers with Swiftness. I was curious.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't think he can get any of those Strangers because they're not light or green.
Why does it matter what the color is?
His God's Art, you put any number of light or wind Stranger Resonators.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was talking about this with Oscar earlier today, I think, actually. Which proves that you don't read our group chat.
Well, yeah, no, not if you guys go off on a tangent.
No, he was asleep, and he wakes up at 1 every day.
Anyways, actually, the cool thing I like about him the most right now is that his, like, how he works with flying resonators. Like, like, he just makes a bunch of stuff flying. Because, like, think about it this way, too. Like, you get to play your Regalia. You can make 2 target resonators flying, and then you can draw cards based on what resonators have flying. So, like, you would get a minimum of 2, draw 2 cards, which is kind of insane. Just by having, like, 2 resonators without flying. If you have, 1 with flying, 2 without flying, then you could play that, give 2 of them flying, and then draw 3 cards. Like, he's kind of crazy. I think has a potential to be, like, a new, a really good control deck. But,
yeah.
To go over those box numbers real quick, I'm going to post it here in this chat we're in. So, yeah, Memorial cards are gone. The breakdown will be 52 normal cards, 22 rare. 18 super rare, 5 basic magic stones, 3 tokens, 9 life counter cards, and 3 will coin cards. Now, the token
really digging in their heels with those life counter cards.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for us, though, like the tokens, the life counters, and the will coins, at least it's just 1 card per pack still, hopefully. And
well, the tokens are cool. I'm excited for tokens.
Oh, yeah, the tokens are always nice. I wonder who's producing the tokens and why they're in there. And there's 3 different ones. But It's cool. So the memorials are gone, but I think the normal count did go a little bit higher than it was before, just slightly.
That's fine as long as. Well, let me rephrase that. I guess it depends on how many reprints we're seeing this time around. But I'm glad to see less filler.
I want to make stuff flying, huh? I bet you we get his little edition that he had from before.
Oh.
I don't know how good that would be because it was what, a 2 cost scare. I think it was 2+2 or something like that. It had flying.
Didn't we already get something like that?
We might have.
Sorry guys, this is probably super annoying.
No, that's cool. Like I said, I hope by the end of this cluster, they figure out what they're actually supposed to do. So it looks like they're slowly getting there. It's taking time, but yeah, it shows. Also, it's going to start to become more and more obvious how terrible like the first 2 sets were as far as like ratios and all, like how it's distributed and all that stuff. Because this is starting to get closer to like how these types of small sets should be handled. Which I'm glad to see, especially the Ghost in the Shell one. Seems like that one's almost perfect. How that, as far as I can tell, for that one.
I mean, history of Force of Will in general. Set 1 has usually been that, and like where it's like the worst set that usually happened once more sets came out, and then set 3
but this one is
usually where the money was at.
Yeah, I said this one was exceptionally bad.
I'd argue that CFC was the worst set that could have been beyond
just because of the forts.
No, just because look at it, and like you can handpick 2 cards, I think, and they're both win cards, and I think the best cards in the whole set.
No. See, here's the thing. Because you're trying to think of competitively for the decks that I ran. A lot of CFC cards were in my decks. My Lifesteal deck and my Force deck all had a bunch of staples from CFC. Including CFC had Captain Hook and stuff in it. Get out of here, Oscar. The more I think about it, no, you get out of here. You could have made an argument for BFA was the 4th one. A better one would have been Ancient Knights. I feel like Ancient Knights was worse than CFC.
Nah,
it was fun at the time, but it didn't stand the test of time at all.
CFC was a fun though also.
Yeah,
because CFC had a, well, I guess it technically wasn't CFC, but it had
technically wasn't
the invitation to disaster stuff.
CFC gave us those 5-star decks also that were like still my favorite star decks Force Will's ever done.
Yeah, that's what.
Get out of here, Oscar.
You don't get the starter decks. It's the set itself of CFC is all I'm talking about.
But didn't CFC have Fox?
No.
No?
Fox was 3?
Didn't CFC have 0?
No, that's starter decks.
No, CFC had 0. You're right. It's because CFC wasn't, or 0 wasn't 4, because I remember that bothering me.
I also had 0's Magic Light, didn't it?
No, those are starter deck cards.
No. Oh my god.
No.
I'm going to have to look this up.
0 was, I'm looking it up right now. 0 was CFC, and 0's Magic Light was...
Yeah, it was CFC also, because it was printed in Vingolf 3 as a reprint in full art form.
And 0's Familiar was CFC. So screw you, Oscar. CFC was my favorite of all time.
Yeah, it had to give
hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Joey's only saying that because his 0 bomb. He brings.
Look, 0 was fun.
0 was fun.
That,
I made a 0. I made several 0
was fun
decks.
even before that.
Yeah.
Outside of pre-release, I thought 0 was a great ruler. It destroyed pre-releases.
What do we even think about? Are we continuing on for spoilers, or are we just doing the rulers?
We're just doing the rulers. We'll continue with spoilers when we record
during
next
official
week. We'll record on, like I said, on a Tuesday night of next week where we kind of go over all the English cards. And then it releases Wednesday morning, and then you guys will see that weekly. We just want to go over the rulers now, so we don't have to go through them over then. And then we'll just kind of talk about the support and stuff. That's why I didn't because we've already seen Reflect and Refrain's 3 support cards, one of them being for Gallia, but we'll go over those when we discuss it next week and see some more cards come out for the other sets.
Oh, CFC had a Wukong.
And then Wukong was trash. And then
Wukong was trash.
And then on top of that, by the time we go over the cards next week, Ghost in the Shell spoilers will have already started as well. So we have a bunch of spoilers to go over. We'll have like so many.
We're gonna have to figure out if it's gonna be 2 separate videos or what. Let us know what you guys think we should do for spoilers, because they'll be releasing Ghost in the Shell starter deck, and AO3 simultaneously, I guess?
Well, I think Ghost in the Shell is going to happen a lot faster than AO3, because AO3 releases on March 22nd, pre-release being the 15th, depending on how that happens and all that stuff. And so that means usually by Wednesday the 13th, we've already seen all of AO3. So it's like 3 weeks of spoilers for AO3. But Ghost in the Shell, they start spoiling on the 24th, releases on the 1st. So I expect like maybe by the 29th or 30th, we've already seen everything. So that Ghost in the Shell will happen a lot faster than AO3. So maybe that will be 2 separate videos or something like that.
I knew it. CFC also had Mars. It had Melfi. And it had Heavenly Gust.
Melfi was who I was talking about when I mentioned the 2 green cards.
Yeah. It had a bunch of fun cards.
Yeah, get out of here.
Mars
was.
I'm not giving you Mars.
Mars
was trash too.
It was
Mars
like
was the gateway drug for Soul.
Listen, you guys can let us know in the comments what y'all thought of CFC. I just know that when I go to look at building Epic Stories decks and I get to looking at CFC, I'm like, there's 2 cards. All right, let's move on. And I just move on to other cards.
Oh, that's why your decks are so bad.
Yeah, right.
No, my decks are really good. You guys target me immediately because Joey talked you on the
No, that's straight up a lie. You guys, I discard one of your cards and you guys gain up on me. Even though I have no win con in my deck. No. I've never won Epic Stories with my discard deck.
That has only happened recently because you decided to build an all discard deck. Before this discard deck existed, you guys always would target me.
Did you say recently the deck I've had for like 2 years was recently?
How many times have you played it? How many times have you played it?
He played it like the very first Epic Stories game.
Like a dozen times at least.
No, not his current one.
Current?
Well, the dumbest deck that's ever existed. I hate that deck.
Current?
Joey,
it's just me, a new set comes out, and I just added discard cards to it. That's all current.
Okay, real quick. The only reason you never liked CFC Oscar is because apparently you hated all the cards that ever... Like, Dreams of Flight...
Dreams of Flight?
What's his name? Hold on.
That's one
Glorious.
I played Glorious.
Pandora, Zero.
Oh, Pandora's
Mars,
my favorite.
Invitation to Disaster.
Invitation to Disaster?
Oscar just never played any of these cards and he hates them.
Get out of here,
It had Charlotte, which was like one of the more fun rulers.
Oh my gosh.
Do y'all hear this though? Every card
it had Charlotte. Every card you had Bear Magic. It had Bear Magic.
Yeah, Bear Magic.
You used to love Bear Magic.
Bear Magic?
Every card you named has been a card that Colin plays in one of his dumb decks. That's what
I know that. That's what I'm saying. You just don't like good cards. It literally has all of Wukong's. It has Flying Cloud, Wukong, and all of his Sha Wujing support.
You can make cards up at this point and call it, I remember, that was so good.
Come back to me how good CFC was. It was so
literally,
good.
Even
if they didn't screw up the full arts, that could have gotten in history of one of the best first sets.
Even Melissa made a Yogg Sothoth deck with the 2000 human demon guy.
Yeah.
And like the Oni and the black box.
Oh my gosh. When I made that deck, I made a bad deck because this was when Taylor and Bridget started playing, and I was like, well, I don't want to go too try hard. Let me build something that's not good. So that way, when they start playing, they're like, oh yeah, we're really good at this game. And I'm like, dang, you are. That's what that was. That's why I built that deck.
I'm just saying that set had some.
That's a gold set.
That set had some good cards.
I disagree.
Leagues ahead. What are the other ones? So we got Ancient Knights. Way better than that.
I'm pretty sure Ancient Knights had
way better
really
than Owl's Origin 1. Way better than... What was the most recent one?
Gosh.
Rune decks were introduced in... Why am I blanking on
this? This is going to shit.
Oscar. First box of the last set.
Knights.
Why did you not like Ancient Knights, Colin? Ancient Knights a bunch of pandas.
Panda's good, but Ancient Knights as a set is just super fluffy because it has cards from the Star decks and stuff, so it's just like not a lot actually came out in Ancient Knights.
See, it's not even a memorable set last one because it must have sucked too.
Ancient Knights had great cards.
Yeah, it probably was because it was the first set of the rune decks, and I think rune decks took a set to really cement in. I don't know why I'm blanking on that.
Dude,
but
Ancient Knights had all the fairer stuff. You're crazy.
I hate fair. I hate fair.
Yeah, dude, that's why Colin doesn't like it.
Those cards.
Joey's like, no, this set's good. See, it's already got a cancer tumor in it. It's so much cancer in here. Why don't you like it?
It had Freyla and Dark Elves. Yeah,
I know.
Dude, Ancient Knights.
Oh, Oscar just likes it because he pulled an Uber in it. Get out of here, Oscar.
Was sick. You get out of here.
Get out of here. This is propaganda. This
You-
is straight up state propaganda.
Look, I bet you we go back. He pulled some good card from CFC, and that's why he's so onto it. You pulled the card.
No,
technically.
you
It's
can't
on video
pull a
that
good
you
card in it
opened
because they weren't full art.
No, but there was Ubers.
Yeah, that also weren't full art.
Ancient Knights had some pretty cool red cards too.
It was great cards.
Yeah,
it's just
Ancient Knights
aesthetically ruined.
Ancient Knights.
So I heard there's another thing going on, Oscar.
Well, real quick, what was it? It's bothering me. Joe, you're looking it up. What was the name of the first set of Valhalla? New Valhalla?
Oh!
Of New Valhalla?
Yeah.
New Dawn Rises?
There you go.
Yeah,
New Dawn, you guys think New Dawn Rises was a bad
We couldn't
set?
remember the name.
No.
We couldn't
Dude,
remember
New
the
Dawn
name.
Rises-
New Dawn Rises wasn't bad. It wasn't as good
gave
as
you-
CFC, though.
It gave us 10 different rulers with like a bunch of different deck combinations.
It wasn't as
hold
good
on.
as CFC.
When
I
we
don't
talked
know.
about these first sets, I detached the starter decks from them every time. And we only talk about what's in the box
That's
itself.
controversial, Oscar. That's controversial. Cause
I mean, I think there's
some
pretty,
of the
like
sets
Lancelot
don't
is
work
in New
without
Dawn
starter
Rises. Erendite. It's got Jormungandr, the little dude. A bunch of cool machines like Vivian. I think Vivian's like the only one actually.
What?
It's got
oh yeah, I
Karura
guess.
the Crow Yokai Festival.
Yeah, I
Belial.
said it wasn't bad. I just said it wasn't CFC.
We just didn't remember the name, and we were cracking a joke that it must have not been a good set because we didn't remember it.
Dude,
That's all we said.
Yeah, you guys are crazy.
NDR.
New
I
Dawn
remember it
Rises.
now.
Anyways,
So
I enjoy these when we go on tangents way more than when we have all this stuff I have to type out of like what we're gonna go by one.
you're the one that types out and gets mad when I go on tangents.
No,
Get out of here,
I don't.
all right,
Get out of
let's
here.
railroad ourselves.
guys.
back
You guys
on the
watch
railroad.
this. You guys know what happens.
Pretty sure we're all equally as bad.
Yeah.
For getting off on.
We're reaching near the end of it, 47 minutes or so. I was looking if my meter kept running.
Okay, so
I was going to bring up Kickstarter. So we had some Kickstarter stuff going on.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the bigger one, I'm going to talk about one other little one that Colin brought to my attention. I thought was really cool.
little one.
I know it's technically the other way around when you look at the money
And-
that each one's
well,
earned,
here-
but
here-
still, it's pretty neat.
I went and I pledged to the other Kickstarter we're going to talk about, and I was like, and whenever I do that, I'm like, I got to see what weird stuff is on Kickstarter that's being funded, because that's just what I do. So I just hit the home button Kickstarter, and this was like right on the home, and so I clicked on it. I was like, what is this? And I said it to Oscar. I was like, Oscar, you should check this out, because I know Oscar really likes Egyptian mythology and stuff like that. Let's see, continue, Oscar.
So it's called Ankh, Gods of Egypt. I might be mispronouncing that name. I don't know.
Ankh.
It was really neat because it's these little. It looks like a combination of Risk and I think somebody said Catan.
Civilization?
Oh,
Okay.
Risk and Catan kind of thing. You have figures on the board, you're moving them around, and you're doing some stuff. And then the trailer's really hyped. Go check it out on Kickstarter. It has like 14 days.
They really
left,
need our
11
help.
days. Just look at it. People might want this. A lot of people play more than just Force of Will when they listen to this.
I know. By the way, you're
Board
saying,
games.
go check it out. They're struggling.
I meant
They
to go
might
check
meet
it
their
out 'cause
goal.
of
They
how-
might not.
Look at him. He's super good. I meant to say go look at it. So you can see the cool trailer. The trailer was really awesome. That's what sold me on it. But anyways, Colin showed it to me, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. It was like at $400,000 like raised so far. It was like way over. It's like whatever $300,000.
I think its goal is
marker.
200,000 or 300,000.
Yeah, and like a day later, I was like, "Oh shit, Colin! It's at $1 million. It's currently at $1.5 million raised. Like they've had so many stretch goals released and already be met, and keep going higher and higher. It's crazy. But we play tabletop games, and so like Catan and what's some other ones we play? Deck
Betrayal.
Builders.
Well, not you know.
Yeah, Betrayal is really fun, but Joey took it with him because it's his. But
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure you're having so much.
You
fun
really
playing
are
it.
enjoying that. How many times have you played it since you brought it with you?
I literally played it a bunch in like the past week or two.
By yourself.
My girlfriend got me the expansion, and we played it like 3 or 4 times.
Are you doing 2-player?
No. We had Zach over, and then we brought it over to Zach's house, and we played it both times there. Okay. And I brought it over to her
not recently, obviously within quarantine, but recently, as in not too long ago.
That was out of quarantine. It's like a week or two out of quarantine.
Yeah.
Besides that,
that's what he's saying.
I hadn't played it besides that, but
Joey tried to do a button. I was like, "What do you mean? What are you interrupting him for?"
And I processed what he said. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I said."
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. I was like,
"Right." I'm saying recently I played it once in quarantine, and once out of quarantine. Actually, I guess technically twice out of quarantine because Zach came over.
Yeah.
Anyways.
For quarantine.
Anyways, we play tabletop games is what I'm getting at. It's a lot of fun. We'll record it sometime and share it. But
after we pay someone to paint them all.
Yeah, we know somebody who paints figures, so hopefully we can talk to him some cool stuff and get them done. But anyways,
so we backed it.
We backed it. It's technically the bigger Kickstarter of the two we're about to talk about because at $1.5 million. But no, Alternate Souls is up on Kickstarter now. It's been up for 5-6 days now. Has 11 days left, I think.
Yeah, and it's
52% funded so far.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because that's 10 more days to go. That's right.
And I did a couple videos on it. If you guys want to check that out, I did a video going over the Kickstarter and all its rewards and different things like that in case you guys have trouble like scrolling through and figuring out what's what and all that. I break it down real quick, and I also show you some of the product because I have some of it here, so I was able to show it off on camera so you guys can see an idea of what that looks like. Like I have the art book here, which is an add-on you can get for only $35. I was aghast that this is only $35. This is amazing. I highly recommend getting this for $35 as an add-on. But I did a video on that, so if you want to go check that out, I'm super excited for it, and I'm hoping once everyone gets their Trump bucks that they'll go and back it so it reaches its goal, and maybe potentially a stretch goal before the end of it is my hope.
Yeah, and again, I said last time, but if you go, support the Kickstarter now, and know you're gonna have the funds when the time comes. On the end date is when you get charged. So 10 days from now or I guess when this comes out, 9 days from now, you get charged from there. Cool part is they also have a giveaway going on. You can check that out. I recommend just going to their Alternate Souls Facebook page, and you can find the Gleam.io link on there, and then follow it from there. And just there's like so many entries you can do. I think there's like 8-9 entries, and then you can recommend somebody for another 3, and there's a daily one you can go and gather. So just make sure you go back every day to keep getting the +1 to try to get it. And it's for the $300 tier, the $299, which I believe is one of every starter deck is what that tier is.
Yeah, the $299 tier gives you one of every starter deck, alternates of the 5-star deck rulers, and I believe it's 2 booster boxes. 2 booster boxes, as well as alternates of all the booster box rulers, and a playmat, I think, if I remember right. I think that's everything. There might be something else I'm forgetting, which is a super good deal. I break down in the video, and also, I don't know if it was in it or not, but I had interviewed, I did an interview with Japanime Games, who's the people who are helping put this game out. And he went over how some of that will work. It's pretty cool because they're going to be doing like, since EG is in charge of this, they're going to do like Force Will used to do, where if you buy 3 booster boxes, you're pretty much guaranteed to get pretty much everything you're going to need to play in the game. So if you buy one of each star deck and 3 booster boxes, you're set to go. And then each time a set comes out, you just need to buy 3 booster boxes and you're good. So I thought that was super awesome. And contrary to, I've seen some really weird posts. This is super cheap, guys. This is like ridiculously cheap for figures and trading cards. There were some people saying that it was that they didn't want to spend money or that much money, which I think right now it's $98 for a booster box and $30 for a starter deck, both of which come with physical acrylic figures along with cards, along with a barcode which you can scan to eventually store your stuff digitally and eventually get free stuff on top of all that. Is way cheaper than I thought any of this was going to be, personally. But, yeah, I'm super, super excited about it.
Yeah, I also seen the point of bringing it up, saying, like, hopefully it gets funded, or it's probably not going to get funded. But the game comes out no matter what. It's just you're getting in to get some cool special product is what this is.
And it also gauges interest. So, like I said, yeah, this is happening no matter what, regardless if the Kickstarter gets funded. But the amount that the Kickstarter gets funded will determine interest in the game as well, as far as like, hey, we can do this type of release, or we'll be able to make this event in Japan next year even bigger with a huge competition and more prizing. Different things like that is what the Kickstarter is going to determine. So even if you're like, oh, it's going to get funded, okay, I won't go pledge then, I'll just get it later. One, it's going to be way cheaper just to pledge on the Kickstarter because you're getting discounts. But two, and exclusive stuff like the alternate arts. But two, you're investing in your future essentially. If you think you enjoy this game, it's going to go into competitive play and stuff like that. If the interest is high enough.
And I brought that up on the global group, and then somebody was saying that might be a point that they want people to know about, I guess, to help promote sales on the Kickstarter. And that's something they publicly talked about on streams that they've had, right, Colin?
Yeah. I believe it might have been an interview or one of the streams that the stream they did last week, and I believe they're going to be doing a weekly stream as well. So make sure you tune into. I think it's on Japan to Make Games YouTube channel. If not, the MyWill Studio YouTube channel. So might as well subscribe to both of them. But they went live and they had Eiji on and stuff last time, which was pretty cool. His camera sideways. So I think they said they'll be doing those weekly with campaign updates and different things like that and showing off product, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, since we're running low on time, speaking of that competition that they were doing as well, I wanted to real quick mention we're doing a competition, a giveaway as well, for Spellweaver. If you guys missed it, we did a sort of intro and pack opening for Spellweaver, which is a digital card game on your phone and on the computer. It's actually super fun. They had reached out to us and they gave us a bunch of codes to give away, which includes a deck and booster packs. It's worth roughly $10. They gave us quite a few codes to give away. So we have codes to give away, and if enough people enter into this competition, we'll give away even more codes. Otherwise, we'll do another giveaway. Once we do our gameplay video, we'll announce the winners in the gameplay video, as well as announce another giveaway. If not enough people enter in this one, we'll do a second one. And it's I'll put the link to the video below, and you go to that video, and it has the link to the giveaway and all that. But check it out, and check out Spellweaver also, because it's pretty cool. But definitely, it's a great way to get started in the game, just to straight up have a fully built decked and booster packs to open right off the bat. You could get some really cool super rares and all that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. That video did actually really well, and there's quite a few comments of people wanting more content of it, so we'll definitely be recording more Spellweaver content.
Yeah, we're basically just waiting to get enough cards to make a halfway decent deck, so it's not just jank decks that we're running, which we should be able to do relatively soon here. So I'm hoping to record something and have it up in the next couple of days, most likely. But, I should mention that competition closes sometime today or tonight. So go and check that out like ASAP and enter in.
If you're listening to this on release, or else it may be already over. But
today's the 21st.
If things go well, especially with the videos and the views on them, as they've been going already, we probably get some more codes at some point, or try to do some sort of giveaway in the future. But it's a fun game.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I've been saving all my packs, so I don't open them until we do like another pack opening. Just do some mass opening on there. Colin's like, I haven't been doing that.
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing that.
I just figured it wouldn't hurt. Like, I haven't opened anything. I just been earning stuff like crazy.
Way back in the day when Zach and I were playing Eternal, he had saved like 80 packs or something, and we did like a giant pack opening, and I think it actually did pretty decently. So it's like even on digital card games, people really enjoy seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's cool because their packs in here, unlike a lot of other digital card games, they have big packs or the normal ones of 10 cards, but they also have smaller packs of like 4 or 5 cards. So a lot of the ones I have saved up are the 10 card packs, so it'd be cool to check them out. I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to wrap it up. And it is kind of a spoiler thing. If you watch our gameplay, especially the Sabotage ones, we're going to go over results of how that went. So if you haven't seen that yet and you want to, I guess, you go ahead and click out. It's a funny thing to say. But we're going to talk about that, laugh about it, and then end the podcast from there. So you got your spoiler warning. But we did our Sabotage games. We finally got them all out. There was a little struggle for me and Colin to get our game in. We recorded a little later than the normal, and then we got it up. But, it was hilarious watching Colin throw his stones down and have to pay life every time he needed to produce red. I didn't realize.
Pretty funny.
I didn't really realize how bad it was when I made it until I saw it in action, and I was watching live and I was muted. I was laughing so hard. Watching going like, I'm gonna pay $400 and I'm gonna put down this Pachacootie and I go.
Yeah.
It's such bad resonators too. Like, another one cost coming out.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part though is in the games that I did against Colin. I know Joey won't probably go watch these. It's like Colin's like pay 200, pay 400, pay 200 more. It's like 800 total life. All right, Oscar, go. And there's like 5 resonators this field. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna bounce everything back to your hand. Pass turn.
Oh my gosh, that's why? And like, he gave you all those. I still am not happy that
he got
did
mad
that
at
he
one
gave
point. I was like, seriously? I was like, you gave me these bounce cards. That's
I
all
know.
I have. My hand is full of nothing but rest everything and bounce it.
I know. So between you two, who won?
Colin won. Colin got
Colin
it.
won?
I couldn't keep up with how much burn he had. He had thunders and stuff like that, and just Melgus and what's the other red dude's name? Banishes a guy to deal 1,000 somewhere or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
It wasn't Lancelot. It was
No.
It was
Mordred.
Yeah, between those two, I just couldn't kill them. And like the little people I had that were in play, like he would just tap them and hit them for 2.
Oh yeah, I had
again, so he'd do 4 damage total on them.
I would keep putting out the time traveling emissary, which is tap, remove a card, and peen something for 200. And then I'd put the 3 cost out that you just tap, say, and peen something for 200. So I'd just sit there like, peen, peen, peen. So he'd have his monkey trapped in life, and I'd just insta-peen it.
It was satisfying. I got to get each of you with that 8 cost card that do 2,000,
Oh yeah, I'm so pissed Colin gave you that. Yeah. I literally lost the 3rd and final game, I think, of ours.
The game you did that... The game you did that to, literally all you had to do was pass turn, and I was finally going to be able to play my Sylvia Awakened to close the game out.
I did, okay. On game 3 against Colin, I was like, yeah, you got it. I'll give it to you. And he's like, well, wait,
yeah.
He's like, hold on.
Because I played Sylvia Awakened, and he was like, yeah, I can't do it. You got it.
Because she had flying and all that, and he goes, tap your ruler because she draws a card and you tap her. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I tapped it, and it happened to be the card that I thought was the shittiest card y'all guys gave me, which was like target a resident and send to the bottom of their deck. And I was like, oh my god, so I got to send it down. He had red cap next turn anyways, and I was at 2 lives. Yeah. He had it no matter what. But it was just a satisfying, like, nice, send that down to the bottom.
Yeah, I was like, that's your lesson to don't rage too early, because if it wasn't for the red cap, he might have been able to close it out because it was a close game.
You actually killed him with red cap too?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's so great. Those cards I'm so glad. I actually might end up watching that. That's so funny.
It was a good one. I recommend everybody go see it if they haven't already, even though we're talking about the results of it. But they were hilarious, and in the end, I thought we'd have a winner, but we're all 1-1.
I knew.
We're all 1-1 in the end.
I knew it was gonna end like that.
It could have been easy.
No one could be
Joey
consistent.
Was 2-0, but Joey was able to pull the win on me, but he could have.
Yeah, because you hit me with a fucking 2,000 damage straight to my face stuff.
I don't know. My favorite card out of all of it, just grab it all in a bundle and we look at it, was the rest all the resonators, bounce them, and whatever wasn't bounce rested or whatever. I forget how it goes.
Bounce all rest of resonators, whatever was not bounced rested.
There you go. That was my favorite one to use on you guys because it was just amazing. Especially Colin paying life for his subs, but it was a good time. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we get some more cool gameplay, especially now that Mike wants to contribute and play with us. It'll probably be initially us just playing with them, getting them caught up before we actually start recording them, but it'll be cool. Let's do an epic story.
If we do Sabotage again, I think it'll be more structured, where we actually like go and spend some time making some decks, and then we'll go and like do an adventure of like, I made this deck, and it's specifically designed that each time he draws a card, it triggers it. Like some actual legit try hard Sabotage decks. Yeah,
like my theme was like clearly like I have to play cards that make me lose life in order to use their abilities.
But it could have been better.
Right.
Even that could have been
exactly
better.
Yeah. It'll just be a little bit more refined.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it better going forward, and we'll add Mike to it, and maybe get rid of the 1-1-1 possibilities. But we're going into here, And thank you guys for staying with us and watching and listening and all of that. And if you're a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/cheesyscrubs. And if you're not, head there anyways. You can become a patron, and we'll have the patron podcast go up as well. And we'll see you next time.
All right.